What unfolded Sunday night wasn't just a loss. It was a public implosion broadcast across every sports network in America. The Browns didn't just stumble. They collapsed under the weight of their own mistakes. 50 passes, 220 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a fan base that went from hopeful to heartbroken in 3 quarters flat. Cameras caught Steelers defenders laughing mid-play, taunting a once promising team now trapped in its own spiral. And yet, amid the wreckage, one figure stood still on the sideline, helmet in hand, eyes locked forward, unmoved by the disaster unraveling before him. Shadur Sanders. Watching. Waiting. The man who might just be the Browns' salvation. What happened on that field was more than bad football. It was a breakdown of belief. Gabriel, the quarterback meant to carry this franchise forward, looked terrified every time he dropped back. The offense played like it was underwater. Slow, suffocating, and scared. Every checkdown was another sigh from the crowd. Every short pass another reminder that this team, this city, was reliving its eternal curse. Cleveland doesn't lose quietly. It hurts in public, and it remembers every wound. For 50 years, this fan base has been haunted by near misses, collapses, and heartbreaks. And Sunday night was another ghost joining the collection. By the fourth quarter, the energy was gone. Fans weren't booing anymore. They were numb. The defense had played championship-level football, suffocating Pittsburgh's offense, forcing turnovers, and fighting to the last whistle. But what good is a fortress when the gates are wide open? On the sideline, head coach Kevin Stefanski wore the kind of calm that only comes from denial. He stood there with his headset on, jaw tight, pretending his composure could somehow mask catastrophe. But his players saw it. His staff saw it. And every fan at home saw it too. The Browns weren't united. They were unraveling. Then the cameras cut again, to Shedeur. His expression never changed. Calm, calculating, unreadable. Every glance from him felt like a storm warning. Something was coming, and Cleveland wasn't ready. When the clock hit 0, and the Browns trudged off the field, the air was heavy with a kind of silence that screams louder than words. But within hours, that silence shattered. A reporter asked Stefanski if he'd considered benching Gabriel for Shedeur. His response? Robotic. Defiant. Dylan gives us the best chance to win. 6 words that detonated an entire fan base. Within minutes, social media was ablaze. Twitter threads exploded. Reddit turned into a courtroom of outrage. Memes, videos, and angry rants flooded timelines. The quote became a rallying cry. Hashtags like #StartShedeur and #BenchGabriel started trending nationwide. Even former players joined in. Robert Griffin III tweeted, 50 attempts, 220 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's not football, that's malpractice. Colin Cowherd called it organizational sabotage. And when Stephen A. Smith pounded his desk on live television declaring, everyone knows Shadur Sanders gives Cleveland the best chance to win, everyone except Kevin Stefanski, it was over. The national narrative had turned. Gabriel wasn't struggling. He was the villain. And Shedeur wasn't just the backup. He was the messiah waiting to rise. Inside the locker room, things were worse. Reports leaked of shouting matches between players. A defensive captain reportedly confronted Gabriel after the game, accusing him of wasting their efforts. One veteran receiver was overheard saying, "Why am I running deep if he won't throw past 15 yards?" The tension wasn't subtle anymore. It was boiling over. Stefanski tried to play diplomat, repeating cliches about trusting the process. But it didn't matter. The locker room had already chosen sides. And Shedeur didn't have to say a word to win them over. His silence was power. His focus was leadership. By Monday morning, Cleveland wasn't debating. It was revolting. Twitter became a digital riot. One viral post showed Gabriel's face photoshopped onto a practice squad jersey with the caption, "Finally found his level." Another compared his stats to Brandon Weeden. Weeden won. Thousands of likes. Thousands of retweets. The fans weren't asking for change anymore. They were demanding it. Podcasts dropped emergency episodes. Fans changed their profile pictures to Shedur's face. And Reddit threads read like manifestos calling for revolution. Even ESPN joined the feeding frenzy. Cleveland locker room fracturing. Players want Shedeur. The ticker scrolled across screens nationwide, And the message was clear. The Browns weren't a team, they were a headline. Inside the organization, things began to shift quietly. Practice reps told a story that public statements couldn't. Shadur Sanders was suddenly taking more snaps with the first team. Coaches said it was routine rotation, but everyone in Berea could feel it. The energy changed. Players leaned in when he spoke. Receivers ran routes with sharper urgency. The huddle had life again. Meanwhile, Gabriel moved like a man on borrowed time. Every throw seemed heavier, every glance toward the sideline more desperate. He knew the walls were closing in. Reports surfaced that even star veterans like Myles Garrett had voiced frustration, reportedly telling Stefanski, "We're wasting a playoff defense." The truth was spreading like wildfire, inside and outside the facility. Shedeur wasn't just a rookie anymore. He was the symbol of hope, the reminder that there might still be something worth saving. But Stefanski wouldn't budge. Pride became his armor.
"We're sticking with Dylan," he repeated, even as the evidence piled against him.
Analysts called it stubbornness. Fans called it ego. The city called it betrayal. And while Cleveland's offense kept collapsing under Gabriel's hesitant command, Shedeur kept working in silence, studying film, practicing reads, throwing with precision long after practice ended. He wasn't campaigning. He was preparing, because he already knew how this story ends. Week after week, the tension grew thicker. The Browns weren't just losing games. They were losing faith. The defense would hand the offense the ball, only to watch Gabriel dump another pass short of the sticks. On the sidelines, players shook their heads. One camera caught a lineman muttering under his breath, "We can't keep doing this." The entire stadium felt it. The breaking point was near. By week 8, the whispers had become open defiance. Reporters asked daily when the switch would come. Fans outside the facility chanted, "Start Shedeur," in unison. Inside, Stefanski was losing grip on his team, his locker room, and his legacy. Every analyst said the same thing. The Browns weren't deciding between two quarterbacks. They were deciding between saving face or saving their season. And then came the quiet before the storm. One practice. One throw. Shedeur dropped back, scanned the field, and delivered a 40-yard strike that cut through the air like lightning. The sideline erupted. Even the defense couldn't help but cheer. That moment wasn't just a highlight. It was prophecy. Every player felt it. Every coach knew it. The future had arrived. And it was wearing number 12. The writing is on the wall now, bold and impossible to ignore. Dylan Gabriel isn't the future. Shadur Sanders is. The fans know it. The locker room knows it. The national media knows it. The only person pretending otherwise is Kevin Stefanski. And every week he waits, his credibility burns another inch shorter. Because when Shedeur finally takes that first snap, and make no mistake, he will, it won't just be another quarterback switch. It'll be a resurrection. The rebirth of a broken team. The redemption of a city that suffered long enough. Now here's the real question. Should Shadur Sanders start immediately, or has Cleveland already waited too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're ready for the moment the Browns finally unleash him, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because the storm's already here, and Shadur Sanders is standing right in the eye of it.